All right. It looks like we are live, everybody. The Cain Stevens Super Show. Can you believe it? We're back and live once again for day
All
two.
right.
It looks like we are live, everybody. The Cain Stevens Super Show. Can you believe it? We're back and live once again for. All right. We don't want that. Okay. There we go. So, this is pretty wild. I mean, here we are. We're live. We're doing we're talking about a bunch of stuff, and there's just, man, it's, I don't know, it's been kind of a wild Friday. I love Fridays anyway. They're a blast to me. I mean, I got the Friday the 13th vibes going on all the time. It gives me superpowers and everything. I thought about wearing my Jason mask and the whole setup today, but I thought, I got plenty going on here. I got Fred and Ed the skeleton behind me, and Ed is dying to unveil something for you all. We're all kind of mourning the loss of Ace Frehley, and hopefully I can do maybe we'll do a special live stream or something with the Scratch the Vinyl crew on Ace Frehley. Hopefully we'll get some videos up and some things, but I'll just briefly touch on it. It sucks, man. The more musicians that we talk to, I can't help but notice that it's uh, Ace Frehley had a massive impact on musicians that I had no idea. I mean, I was born in the '80s, but I really wasn't myself until like what, like maybe like the '90s, like when I was probably like 10 or whatever. That's when I started coming, and that's when grunge and everything hit. So I really had no idea like the impact of Kiss until later on. But so I'm gonna let Ed, I'm gonna kind of move out of the way. I'll kind of introduce some of my cast of characters. I have Rocket the cockapoo, Shih Tzu Mutt right behind me, the my little shadow walking back and forth, checking things out, doing the old Paw Patrol situation here. I don't know what he's looking for. Probably doing something evil. He's kind of like I call him Ming the evil cat sometimes, even though he's a dog, because his cat-like behavior is he's going into his little hole that I created for him. So good work, Rocket. But I just my cast of characters is mostly just my skeletons. I have a skeleton hanging outside, Fred Weena, um, tied up in spider webs, and it's a dirty job, but somebody has to do it, right? I mean, who better to do it than a skeleton? But Ed, what do you want to show us today? I'll kind of move out of the way here for a second, and Teddy's hiding underneath there too. I don't know if you saw that, but Ed the Skeleton has his favorite Kiss album. He has Kiss Destroyer sitting there, and he's looking at it lovingly. And Fred the Skeleton, he's got his what he perceives to be an Ace Frehley style guitar, and they've just been kind of like telling Kiss stories with each other, and it's been a wild day. I was on TikTok earlier, and uh I stumbled upon something that was a little bit crazy to me. It was there was a guy on there who he wrote a song to his wife who had died, and it was an acoustic song. And man, it was so sad. Like, I've literally cried to the song all day long. Like, why do I torture myself, right? Why do I do it? But it's just it's really wild. I want to at least bring it up. It really impacted me. Like, it made me, it got the juices flowing to write. I mean, it did it all. But so the song is called oh, let me dial it up. I'm sorry about this. It's by Will Anderson. So look up Will Anderson. I listen on Spotify. The song is Until We Meet Again. And then there's a follow up, Together Forever, and the Until We Meet Again is like the saddest song I've ever, like, I hugged my wife so tight at on her lunch. It's basically he lost his wife suddenly to she must have died in her sleep, and it's just like the grieving process, man. It's like it's just so. And then I start thinking about, like, man, what would I do without my wife? Like, I love her so much, and She really saved me from the depths of myself and so many things. And so I owe a lot to my wife, and having my kids. It was like the best thing that ever happened. Even with my first wife, I mean, the best thing that ever happened, and that was my daughter Logan. And so it just they give me a lot of joy, and I'm just so glad to be their dad. But this particular song just blew my mind. It has a point in there where he uses like I believe some of her poems that she wrote, and maybe she like recited it or something. And it was just, man, I have been crying all day long. And you can say what you want, but I think it's pretty masculine to be okay with crying. And especially with music, I always cry at my kids. Like when Madison was in dance, I always cry when they're doing that, and just the emotion involved. My son's in jazz band now, and in just regular band, and he does percussion. And I don't know, there's just something about it. Uh, Watching my kids do musical things that's amazing to me. But life is such a journey, and so today's been like a day of like reflection and thinking about when we lose our heroes like Ace Frehley and so many others. I don't even know what I'll do the day that like Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney die. Like that'll be the literal day that the music dies. Um, so I hope that they're actual vampires, and I mean, sorry for the babies out there that they might be like consuming their blood and and all of that just to live forever. But I hope that they're getting something out of it, because I just don't want to. I don't know. I just can't think of a world where the Beatles, none of the Beatles exist, and it'll be like that when Kiss goes too. So I started thinking to myself, like, are Kiss the new Beatles in terms of like a different generation? Like, did Kiss, in a strange way, become the Beatles in their own right? I mean, they're certainly a monster when it comes to nostalgia and all of the things that they represent and all of the merchandise that they've sold. They're definitely a monster when it comes to being sellers. But I don't know. I mean, every musician that we've talked to on Scratch the Vinyl in some way, shape, or form has felt something about um about Kiss. Like Kiss has been one of their major influences. So I don't want to dive too hard into it in case we do a live stream for Scratch the Vinyl, but I hope you guys enjoyed the new episode of the Scratch the Vinyl podcast. That's our other podcast. Um, we had from Keenan Eats. We had Keenan Eats on there. He's blowing up all of the different socials and everything. And discovered him organically on TikTok. And what's this dog doing over here? Anyways, I discovered him organically on TikTok and then on Reels, and he goes around and he tries all the mom and pop places, and it's just really cool to watch him eat the food, and wish that you were there eating it. But it's a really good way of pumping it all up. So there's that. And then we had Mike Simrad on the show, so that was pretty legit. I mean, Mike Simrad and the River Hawks. He's also with the Bottle Tops. The guy's basically a legend. And so it was great to have him on. I think we're going to have him on again in November or something, and talk more about his music. But they're having that big here for the food festival down on K Street on Saturday. So I would suggest you guys go out there. But it was a great episode with them. I had a great time with it. Um, it's always fun to put together a show for me with sponsors and all the bells and whistles and videos. But this is kind of a new platform for me. This is different. So, even though I'm basically talking to myself right now, I know that if I continue talking, if you build it, if you talk enough, they'll come. So we're just going to keep hammering these live streams. It's a nice, at least it's a nice daily diary. So, dear diary, everybody, and then here's my entry, right, to you guys. So every show, when I did the Cain Stevens Super Show before, I would mention like, thanks for listening to my daily diary It's basically what I have. So these are just my thoughts for the day and everything. They're not even worth 2 cents, but they're worth something to me. So uh, let's talk about all this Rocktober, Spooktober stuff now. So we got into ghosts yesterday. We talked about Malvern Manor. We talked about Air Park, the ghosts of, and let's dive into a little bit more of that. Maybe I'll post some more Curse of Air Park things to you guys. So, or the Curse of Arnold Heights series. So, if you guys haven't witnessed any of that, go over to well, you can look at it here on the Cain Stevens Super Show YouTube, and you can listen to those old episodes, or you know, if you're on Facebook or whatever, you can. I'll post the link on there, and I'm sure it'll post on Instagram too. But go find those episodes and listen. There's some pretty wild stuff on there. I mean, we lived through a real haunting out there. Like we moved out there when basically when my kids were like little, they were babies, and we lived in a particular one for what, like 6 years. And the craziness that happened there, I mean, it got so intense that I had to call a priest. I mean, that's how wild it was. It was absolutely insane. It was so nutty, and we dealt with that haunting. I mean, we watched toys move around for no reason. I can remember one time um we were I told this story, but I'll tell you guys for those of you that want to hear it. Um we were all eating together, and we heard like a commotion in the kids room, like a bunch of things like going off. We go in there, and like there's multiple toys moving by themselves at once. Like we had one of those like Batman like bat caves, and it had this weighted thing, you know, like it had a weight on one side, Batman's up here like gliding around, flying around, and this thing was like swirling on its own. It was insanity while other things are going off. And I mean, that's not. I would get uh I would get woke up by something saying my name really loud in my ear, and things scaring me to the point where I was just like, I've had it. Like we're getting a priest over here. We're gonna get the place blessed. And there were days where my wife would think that I was home, and she even one day was so scared she took all the kids and she locked them with her in the bathroom and called her dad at work because I was working out of town. Thought that if I wasn't home, that somebody's in that house downstairs in the basement, and there was nobody there. Like when her dad, there was nobody at all. She was terrified. There was something moving around, and it always seemed like there was something moving around. The shadows moving all over the place. Dark rooms getting darker with shadow people. The kids now talk about like a hat man like shadow, which when we were in that class that I mentioned yesterday, they talked about the different shadow people. It was fascinating. It was a really bold claim by Kirk, uh, but basically he tried to say that if you see a shadow with a hat, like a fedora type, like the Hat Man, that's like a hierarchy of shadow people, which is it's really crazy to say, right? I mean, that's something you probably shouldn't throw around unless you know. But I mean, he listed a couple sources, and so I don't know where he. I would have to go back and look at the notes, but that was a bold and interesting claim. So for what it's worth, if you see Hatman, Hatman's like the head shadow around, right? The boss of the area, I guess. So you don't want to mess with that sort of thing. He talked about, this is the wildest story I've ever heard. I don't want YouTube to flag me on this, so I'll try to be as PG as I can. But this guy, he claimed was a client, had gotten a hold of him, and basically he said that there was a shadow person having sex with him all the time, and that uh, this shadow person was then asking them to kill themselves so that they could be part of the hierarchy, like the Hatman type of the shadow realm. I mean, that's pretty wild stuff. That's a pretty crazy claim. what is it, like an incubus and a succubus or whatever, or the boy and girl ones that have sex with you or whatever. But that's pretty nutty. Like, thank goodness that's never happened to me, and I'm not interested in it. I don't want it. So if the shadow person is out there asking for our consent, we say no, please, please no. And what I would do if you have that sort of thing, whether you're if you're religious, I'm telling you, if you drop the Jesus card on them, and I plead the blood of Christ and all of that type of, I promise you, these things, they don't want any part of this. They're gonna go away, at least for that moment. So I'll die on that hill too. Um, like I said, I try not to get too preachy, but I am a Christian outwardly, and I'm happy to say so. I'm not afraid to be it. Um, but I mean, that's my beliefs. But there are many who do use that, even if they're not religious. So I would suggest to you, there's got to be something to that, right? I mean, there's if you want to think that there's nothing, there's no such thing as good and evil, then why does that work, right? Why is that a thing that works? Ask yourself that. I think it further exaggerates and helps the idea of good and bad, light and darkness, and all of that stuff. Voldemort type type stuff. I mean, it's been going on in our stories since the beginning of time. So I would say that there's something to that. So it's pretty interesting. I'd love to meet the guy who has. I guess what Kirk ended with on that class was that um, the guy really he quit trying to help the guy because the guy really didn't want any help. He was having sex with the ghost or entity, and he was fine with it. So at that point, really, what do you do as an investigator? I would say the same thing, which is, oh, thanks for your time, but there's really nothing more I can do here. So at least that's kind of interesting overall. So we're this is such a weird notion. I'm staring at myself as I'm talking, and it's a little bit like behind. So it's weird to I hate looking at myself, and I absolutely hate listening um back. I'm not one of those people. It's not that I just don't like listening to me. And I mean, I hope that's not an invitation for the trolls out there to be like, yeah, we don't like listening to you either, but that's okay, right? The trolls, they're out there trolling away, doing the old trollio thing. So at least I got all my friends here in the room. I think Teddy's down there. Yep, Teddy's still hiding here. I'm gonna move. Maybe you can see him again. Teddy, you're kind of peeking. You're hiding, buddy. He's down there somewhere. I think I probably went the wrong way, didn't I? So here, let me see if you can see him the other way. Well, anyways, he's down there. If you didn't see him before, he's underneath the Kiss Destroyer album. Teddy's actually up there. He is. Teddy's actually a massive fan of Kiss as well. He doesn't seem like it. He seems like kind of a not really like a party boy, more of like when you see like a poodle or like a poodle mixture, they seem so like fancy and everything. He like runs, he prances around the yard like a show dog. It's just like he's so graceful, and then Rocket's like a little beast, almost like a hairy wiener dog. He's got such a long body, and he stays low to the ground, chases squirrels. And Teddy pretends to be a dog, and tries to do the same, but really he just prances around all fancy and whatnot. So it's definitely it's worth the price of admission. I love it every day. Um, yeah, I gotta say, after listening to all the sad music that I listen to, I gotta tell you guys, I am if I can do anything for anybody, if one person listens to this, I'll tell you this is my 2 cents on what I think is important. I think that what's important with all that I've learned, if I have any type of wisdom for you guys, is that life is as short as people say it is, and even shorter. And don't wait for something major to happen to you like I did to really appreciate it, but get outside and really enjoy the little things. I love watching I'm such an old person now. I'm a stay-at-home dad. You know, I've got these heart issues. I'm a podcaster. Um, but I really enjoy the little things like watching the Blue Jays and Cardinals gather, um, listening to all the sounds. I don't enjoy I don't really enjoy the mosquitoes and the pirate bugs and all those things out there because they're like consuming my body. But other than that, I love sitting out there and playing my guitar with the dog next to me on the swing and just like I don't know, just coming up with a song, maybe getting a little groove going, maybe even nothing at all, maybe just strumming the instrument a little bit and just kind of like taking it all in and enjoying it. But my advice to you is this: uh, enjoy it while you can. I mean, enjoy your family, your friends. Uh, just take it all in and try to make the best of it if you can. Life is hard, but it's maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's not going to be so hard for you when you're not around. But think about the people that you care about and just enjoy them now, and just try to get through it. Try to trudge through it. And I promise you that you'll come out on the other side. I was such a negative person before, and um, I was such a dark person, and now I see the world differently. I see what getting older is. Every day I get a little older, and every day I get a little wiser, I would hope. And it really does happen. I used to think as a kid that that was like not even real, right? Like, oh yeah, your elders are they're so smart and they have so much wisdom, and I would think, oh, that's just what old people say to control us. And I don't think that that's necessarily the case. Now, not all people are wise. Not all old people, for sure. There's some really dumb ones out there. I see them driving every day through the city of Lincoln, and I wonder why are these people doing what they do. But that's neither here nor there. So just enjoy it, everybody, and I'm just so glad to be here on the ride. I'm probably not going to stream too long, but I do want to post that. I think what the one I'm going to do is I'm going to post the video that we did on our house. I have a couple of them. I think I interviewed my kids on one iteration of the show, which it might still be on there, or it might be like the oldest version. But I'll at least do something that has to do with the Curse of Arnold Heights. So all my Air Parkians out there, all my people, APG, what we we're representing Air Park and West Lincoln, and I love that area, and I have such a fondness for it, and it's just deeply embedded in me, and it gets such a bad rap. There's so many great people out there, and I love them all. Uh, well, maybe not all of them. There's some of them out there that like I could, I would probably avoid at the Dollar General or wherever I would see at the grocery store. But most of them I would embrace and hug, and I just love the area. I love them all. So they're going through it out there. There's so many hauntings in that area. Like remember there was a lady and her daughter who came on, and they I think you can find it on Spotify. I think I don't know how this works and I don't know how it happens. You pay to get it on Spotify and everything. But my oldest iteration of the show, I on my earlier episodes, I had a mother and daughter on. I changed their voices to protect the innocent and all that stuff. But they talked about the haunted, and it was terrifying stuff. I mean, if you know Air Park, I can point. I'll meet you guys out there if you really want to. I'll meet somebody out there, and we can kind of we can go over some of the hauntings, and I can tell you stories. I'd love to buy a hearse or have somebody lease me a hearse, and I would love to give people ghost tours of Lincoln and do paranormal investigation, but also give them take them around Air Park and show them how cool it is and give them some stories without like working people up. But I don't know how that would even work out. But I've always wanted to do that. Um, but it's just so wild. There was a story I remember them telling where it was kind of like the Amityville horror type stuff. I'm talking like a mirror like blowing off the wall. You know, insert big sound effects here, and can you remember like on the old what am I thinking of? Like Friday the 13th 3D, right? Friday the 13th part 3. Think of that trailer where it has the cheesy like explosion sound and like it was I admit I envision it like that. Like, oh, you're looking in the mirror and you're like, oh man, I kind of look fat today. Then all of a sudden the mirror's like, yes, you do. And then it just blows off the wall. Like that would be that's what I imagine happening there. But it's a really cool story. So I'm gonna try to post more. I really hope I really hope somebody cares out there. I do see that there are some people watching now, so that's really cool. Don't be afraid to chat with me and tell me who you are and come on here. I would love to get a little bit of a chat going and keep this thing going, but you know, otherwise I'm just talking with me and my skeletons. But I'm so used to that, right? So most people hide their skeletons, right? They keep them in their closet. They don't want anybody to see these skeletons. But I like to show them to everybody. I like the skeletons in my closet to be brought out and everybody can see them. So here they are. I've got other skeletons too, and I'm not hiding them on purpose. I've only got so big of a studio, so maybe one day I'll have like all these different skeletons hanging, and it'll be like I don't know, like Ed Gein's barn or something. it'll be like it'll be all sorts of like mass chaos, and this is what I love. I love this studio. It's got so much music stuff. You can't really see all of the cool nostalgia and all the cool stuff that I have. I have like all these old like radios and different things. My daughter over here, let's see what the heck she wants. What do you want from me? Anyways, yes, I'll get back to you like soon. All right, cool. Well, she was too afraid to get in on the stream, obviously, because she's wearing her Sunday's best. But you saw her arms. So that's pretty cool. So hey, it's just it's the joy of being here at the luxurious Shoe Line Studios. I've got all sorts of things happening. I saw my other dog somewhere. I don't know where he went. Anyways, uh, so whoever else is watching out there, please chime in. Like, why don't you say something to me? Join us. You know, interact with me. I would love for that to happen. So let's see what this button does. Does this do anything? I'll just uh I'll just say something on here and try to prompt them. Who all's watching here? It's probably like my mom or something. Like my mom is my biggest fan, and I really do cherish and love my mom so much. I always joke that not even my mom watches this stuff, but I think she does, and sometimes she's disgusted, sometimes she likes it, uh, and I just it's probably her, right? My mom is a great lady. She's always been down to clown for me. I can remember Halloween one year where we went out. We were pretty young. Me and Andy Harvey, R.I.P. to Harv, and wrong wrong arm. Sometimes I forget my tattoos. Uh, I'm such an idiot. Anyways, I got the Harv tattoo here. He's always with me, but R.I.P. Harv. But we were out there grinding, getting all that candy, and these big kids tried to pop out at us, and they didn't know the hell that my mom could unleash on them. They didn't know the person that they were messing with, and so my mom basically like popped back at them, like, yeah, get the hell out of here. And it gave them a spook and a fright. And they went running off. But mom saved the day because we would have been like dorks and just handed over our candy. We were so young at that time. Now, if we had gotten older, I mean, Harvey and I were kind of like fighters, so we probably would have squared up and tried it. But yeah, it was wild times, but mom's always down for me. So, mom, if you're watching at home, I love you. But I'm gonna try to do this more often. I'll try to tell more stories and talk to people. Um, let's check in with the skeletons. You guys have anything to say? No, they just whispered. I can kind of hear a light muttering from them. They just said they're just so bummed out about Ace Frehley that they're just too choked up to talk right now. So I appreciate them coming on the show with me and Rocket, the old Shih Tzu cockapoo mutt, Kaka Shih Tzu or whatever you want to call it. But what can I say so I don't get flagged? That type of thing. He's up in here just maxing and chillaxing. Teddy the cockapoo was here looking fancy as always. But it was a pleasure, everybody. Once again, nobody's really, I see some people watching, but nobody's really interacting at this time, but that's okay. I want you guys to continue to come on here and listen and watch. And I'm so enjoying this. Thank you guys for being here on my TED Talk and my online diary. So this was my diary entry for today. It is Friday. For all you Husker fans out there, I'm sure you guys are looking forward to the Husker game tonight, and I hope they beat Minnesota. I hate Minnesota with a passion. I mean, I know I'm a Hawkeye fan, but I'm also a Husker fan when they're not playing the Hawkeyes. And no, you're not going to convert me into just being a Husker fan and not a Hawkeye fan. So don't even try it with me. So I hate Minnesota so much, and I want them to burn, burn, burn. So beat the crap out of them. I hope Iowa beats the crap out of a wounded Penn State after losing their coach, losing Franklin, and I just hope for a great outcome this weekend. So thank you guys for watching, and tune in for another online, probably sometime this weekend, another live stream of the Cain Stevens Super Show live and in person. And if you don't get a chance to listen, I hope you guys listen back some other time. Some of these episodes, it's a blast. So thank you guys, and please comment, please like and share and subscribe. Please listen to the Scratch the Vinyl podcast every Friday at 12 a.m. That's Central Time. I don't know if it's CDT or CST or whatever you call it, but anyways, tune into that and just stay spooky, everybody. If you're gonna be strange, right? Don't be a stranger, just be strange. We'll catch you on the flip side, everybody. Take care.